Okay, let's see what skills we get. So left-handed is one of my highest rated starting skills. I have also actually been finding a lot of success with what's that other one called? Arm Stealer. I've been doing a lot of Arm Stealer. Yeah, I think expansionless Vanessa is perfectly fine in terms of like viability, in terms of like strength, but in terms of just raw fun factor, I think expansion is way better. And the reason I went JJ there is because just getting any weapon lets me beat Viper, and having the Toxic Fang with left-handed is like a win condition for several days. So you have to value it quite highly to go try to grab a weapon before the fight, and there you go. I'm just very talented when it comes to hitting fangs. How much? I'm curious. What's the health on the upgraded blue nanas? This is interesting. This one upgraded gives you 60 health. There is like a funny possibility of getting an upgrade hammer onto the blue nanas. But I think haste items, racetrack is actually really good because there aren't that many Vanessa haste items. So instead, you get something like Day 1 Shadowed Cloak on left-handed Fang. So, if you want to learn how to angle into playing a single weapon Vanessa with flagship or submarine, look no further than Day 1 left-handed with Shadowed Cloak. Wow, the technology. That's my first OFC in chat. Very cool. We've made it. Boys, we've made it. Oh. I think I am actually going to spend my bronze upgrade on the Shadowed Cloak as well, because it's really meaningful for, especially if you do get submarine, or something that I've been very curious to try, is if you get, let's see, we can just pick right-handed, looks really good, we stack this up. Guess we can just put this out. Ah, it's wrong direction, Piggles. It's fine. Something that I've been meaning to try is the submersible with... because then you can run Crow's Nest Cloak type stuff and have it be a 3-second cooldown, so it's like pretty good. Single weapon Obsidian Enchant Pearl. That'd be a hot take too. I think I'm supposed to be willing to hedge 2 gold into barrel, though this is the better one.
Just toss that on my back and I'll trot it to your
No. Cutlass versus Fang is a very interesting one to think about. Because they end up, like, very similar. The main advantage is that Fang is smaller, but Cutlass gets the double crit damage. Yeah, it's mainly just like the gold that I'm thinking about in terms of reasons why I might not put it in the bag when I already have a Fang. I'm gonna stick with my guts, which tell me to just keep running the Fang for now, and then my preferred pivots would be the flagship mainly. I mean, there is an argument that you can actually, like, run Cutlass the whole way, but with the Shadowed Cloak already, that feels like a bit of a waste. I think Cutlass is, in many cases, a pretty reasonable one to go for.
I'm finished with fighting. But
So let's
I can
see.
help you finish a fight.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So is there a way that I can not sell the Junkyard Club? 2, 4, 6, 5, 9. If I sell everything, am I willing to sell everything to get +3 onto the submarine? I think so. Or +6. Yeah, that seems good to me.
Use it well. Make me proud.
And ECB 1v2. Now we have Perma Haste after our first activation. And this is still 3 gold. You know what? Let's put the piggles on the board. Looks pretty.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Because the thing about submarines specifically is that a lot of the time you don't want to run it unless you have some pretty good scaling. But Shadowed Cloak is really good scaling. But you don't want to run submarine with flagship typically because they don't interact, or with the Crow's Nest because they don't interact that favorably. So I think dive weights is actually so good, it's just straight up worth looking for. Because this gets us somewhere to put any gunpowder we find. This could be Captain's Wheel, which is meaningful. I could have also just gone to middle, but I don't really want to do that. That's gunpowder, that's crit, that's gunner, good stuff. But yeah, so what I was saying is about submarine is that it's interesting that since it kind of comes with the defenses built in and pre-enabled, it opens up the possibility that instead you might want to run it with things like figurehead or in an aquatic package or with burn, since it doesn't do that terrifying damage but it's really good defensively. There are a lot of options like that, which I could consider going for.
Buddy, I've got work to do.
Flashing Mechanic would be really good, since it gives me a way to start filling up my crit usage, but also just getting the crit or getting the sharpening is not bad.
Hand it to you. You're good.
And with this, we can definitely put in like a there you go, seaweed, to make sure that we're not that vulnerable to poison. Now, Artillery Spotter is interesting because I kind of, if we get to Shipwreck, it's very easy to be in 5 or fewer. But I kind of think I'm just gonna roll here, because yeah, just getting like P&I is fine.
Maybe I'm getting better at this.
Mediums or large? I small. Let's see what Barkun has for us.
Small things.
And as much as I said I'm not looking to run Crow's Nest, it's still definitely, like, I'm not gonna pass up Crow's Nest in the early days. And I'm actually already really ahead in terms of board strength so I don't want to spend 4 gold on a reroll here. I really value the ability to use that gold to look for better things on the next day. It's been growing on me a lot, the idea of just giving up a bit of my sort of immediate power just to have the resources to keep up my momentum on the... Like, it feels like these days in the middle, that's where it might get tough to keep winning a lot of the time. And this is definitely a gold chocolate bars angle. I don't feel like I'm gonna need that much chocolate, but this early one matters a lot. Now, I can sell for 8, which lets me buy a flagship, which is actually a massive upgrade. So I do think it was correct to be willing to look there, but I can't roll. Right? Because this is 9, this is 11, and I'm not selling the crow's nest.
I respect new food, but bare hands are not enough.
I really like this guy on the like current aquatic Vanessa. I'm griefing the positioning on this a bit, doesn't really matter. Just because if ammo stash is one of the best skills, but also just in general, if you get like cannonball actually works with dive ways and stuff like that. It was super impactful here since I'm already perma-hasted. But it's the kind of stuff that lets us, like, pivot into Arbalest later on, or whatever we end up finding. And since we already have the dive ways, I feel like I'm supposed to be willing to take Gunner, but a lot of the time otherwise, I would have been more likely looking at trying to get, like, any scaling skill for the submarine. And I think I'm really ahead on power, but I'm kind of behind on resources, so I'm willing to play it safe with my gold and just pick free options. Because I'm going to need resources to probably pivot out of this submarine later.
I'm a bit of a legend.
I would be so much more confident if this was a flagship, because flagship with any type of scaling is really powerful. Or even an Arbalest, since I have the dive weights and the crow's nest, it would scale really aggressively. I think you would all even, like, if you do Shadowed Cloak, dive weights, and then the jellyfish, you can just have it go kind of crazy. So this is something that does probably beat me. It's the shielded seaweed. We'll see, maybe I can outscale it. Their weather glass is very slow, but the fact that they have 2 enchanted items already is just a bit tough. We have 2 enchanted items and perma-slow. That's a little bit too much. But this is also kind of why I was willing to do it this way. Because there's no, like, one single item that I could find other than Silencer that would have made a meaningful difference here. And I didn't have an Andy to go to try to find the Silencer reliably. We'll just take the X.
Oh, blast you, Sky Eye! If me boots don't blow up.
More crit, more gunpowder. The rocket boots could be significant on, like, something, but I'm not quite sure. I'd probably just put it on the dive weights for when I want to cut Shadowed Cloak. finding augmented weaponry would definitely be a way to allow me to stay in submarine even in the late game. So that's a potential high roll here. Vehicle skills at 7, I could do something too. A lot of the time I do up the nest. So it's probably that, just because with what I've got going on here, upping the nest really adequately supports the possibility of the like arbalest
My battle
pivot
days are
too.
over, but my weapons crave more.
It's really funny. I almost like considering the trebuchet. Okay, there we go.
Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside
Now all that we need is just a friend. You sell me a friend? Yes. Friend? Well, I should have been more specific. I was looking for a small friend. Can't run figurehead. What's this one then?
Don't buy, as long as we get to hang out.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
And now I'll definitely be up the nest, no question about it.
Not to squabble with nobody.
It would be better than upping the nest to have improvised weaponry, but the odds of hitting improvised weaponry aren't good enough to pass up on a guaranteed 20% crit. Because, yeah, when flagship crits, it hurts. And now, obviously, I do really need to find the... You know what? I should count real quick. So, dive waste currently goes off 7 times, which gives it 21 crit applied. No, so this upgrade will still really matter, but now we're pretty much solved for crit, because on the second activation, dive waits full crits the flagship.
Come on in. Let's chat.
And we're really looking for a small friend, but not this one, or... I mean, the dive ways are staying on for sure. Sell some stuff. So I want the star chart.
Sad to say goodbye.
And unfortunately, this friend is a weapon, and I do kind of care about my lifesteal. There we go. We get to go to the docks with the star chart at least. And Infernal. Infernal is good too, because especially with already having the dive weights, if we find like a silencer, the Infernal Greatsword pivot can be quite real a lot of the time. I think the second volley should kill, yeah. Okay, good. Since the second volley has full crit and the 20 damage boost here. Ooh, okay, Burning Rage. This actually solves a lot of my troubles. Because now if we find ammo equals burn on this, then we're good. It's noteworthy now that Zara has static acceleration for Vanessa as of this patch. But we're going Orlin because we want... This is sad. Flashy Pilot, I don't think is relevant, because we're solved for crit and we really need damage scaling. Command Ship is passable because it makes the dive ways a lot faster, which ends up mattering later on. I'm gonna take the gold. We just really need the ability to find more things. That's a meaningful upgrade. I mean, this does like something on the board. I don't think we're ever using this, but we're losing 2 gold
I may
to at
be young
least
for a
put a
captain,
thing on
but
our
I've
board
seen my share
here.
of storms.
That does
You should
like
know, I'm a bit of a
give us
legend
the
on
crit
Goliath.
chance like a second faster. It's not completely irrelevant, even if it's no silencer. The one thing that I'm a bit upset about is that we couldn't find a friend, even with all that. But we're still pretty strong,
time,
mostly
boys.
thanks to the Shadowed
Less
Cloak. It
plunder,
means we do have
more
some
plunder.
scaling. Something that I've been meaning to test too, so I haven't moved this since getting the command ship. Let's double check. So it's at 5.1. 5.1, okay. There's a friend, which is good. There's a different friend that we can't run, which is not so good. Well, this jellyfish is going to be so hasted. It is really funny, actually. Like, static acceleration would do so much for us here. If we weren't already, like, sold for crit. Oh, yeah. I gotta remember, Daiways do actually need to go next to the shipwreck, otherwise we're not sold for crit. Whoopsie. That would do it. Just put incendiary rounds here, and we're sold for burn scale. Crit scale. That would make me think, actually, if I ever put it in between, and I just say it's fine to not have 100% crit. Okay, apparently we do have to face the conundrum in question. So it'll just be a question of what does the math add up to? It's a lot of burn, too, potentially. I don't know. Well, this one only goes up 4 times, so it feels better to have the dive weights. Is this a visual bug? Like, surely Stop That is supposed to cost 10, the same as the other silver scales? I'm gonna find out, because I think I would buy this, because I currently don't have any slow, and it enables, like, slow freeze and stuff. But let's see if I can click it. Stop That costs more at silver than the other skills. Is that a bug? Let's see. Stop That at silver costs 20 gold, not 10. Report. Okay. I'm not gonna pay 20 gold for it. There are 2 good skills that I can hit. Even just the gunner upgrade is definitely worth it. Ooh, wait a second. So now Flashy Pilot lets me run it like this, which I do care about. Yes. Okay, this is what we're doing. Morning, Tim. How's it going? Ooh, rock could be so good, too. Since we already have a bronze kenai, we're 50-50 for feather if we roll gold. And I don't know if we're 50-50 or 33 on cosmic winds if we don't. But the Burning Rage is really putting in work.
See that plank?
There we go, cosmic winds. This just means that now we probably just cut this for star chart. It's either star chart or it's maybe it's just one more multicast like we do like this. And it gives us an additional active item that can also crit and that will gain crit from the diveways. I think, yeah, 5 multicast feels pretty good here.
We're out to dethrone a
Oh, that
king,
sucks that
not
you
to
got more
squabble
sick.
with
I'm
nobles.
doing quite well. Vanessa is my favorite character in the Bazaar, and even though Flagship is a very standard build, we're having some unusual things like Burning Rage, so it's kind of a fun build. And yeah, it looks like we're pretty reliably hitting permahaste, so this feels fine. The last time I clicked Dooley was before I started playing Ammo Vanessa, but a big reason for that was because at the time I just wasn't putting in that much time on playing the Bazaar. Now our board is like fairly settled, so I'm willing to buy at least silver here. More burn, why don't you? Oh. Dude, this is such a fiery situation. And I usually like, Artisan Dunes feels so good these days. When the game came out, Artisan Dunes was like such a pointless thing. So the reason I click Dragon here is because it's got the most X, of course, even though the vehicle vendor, or the vehicle guy in the middle, has some good vehicle skills. But if I hit Dragonheart or Draconic Rage, I'm willing to pivot my build around actually running this item on the board. There you go. Alright. Aquatic adjacency, and there we go. Oh, you know what? This is interesting. I think this means I actually cut incendiary rounds again, because it'll eat the Dragonheart activations. And Silencer would still be an incredibly meaningful upgrade, so I do think I am supposed to be willing to pass up rather minor upgrades for the possibility of finding that. And here we can get cooldown reduction. You know what? With Pygmalions, I think I am willing to just take Berserker here. Yes, I am very much being a pyromaniac.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
We are about to roast some pig. Why does the Pygmalion... Okay, I forgot. Maybe I shouldn't pick Berserker because people just like refuse to buy health. I don't know. I don't know about that. Where's the health? Do you know, is Ammo Burn Vanessa exclusive? If so, I was definitely supposed to roll. I think it is. Because having Ammo Burn on the dive weights would matter quite a bit. Yeah, it is. Okay, I was supposed to roll Zane. It doesn't matter too much, but I was supposed to roll Zane. And now I just want as much health as possible, since if I don't die, I win. I would bag a Clamora for sure, since it lets me potentially start of combat charge the flagship, and it also lets me start of combat activate Aquatic Wrath. Murder is indeed what is occurring here. Looks cooler, and it's technically slightly better for now. So none of the multicasting stuff matters, which means I'm certainly willing to play this Captain's Wheel if I find it, but he also has my flagship upgrade, my Crow's Nest upgrade, and 2 good skills, so it's pretty good. Well, yeah, the Berserker. So Sixton said that I click Berserker, and then 1 minute later I go, I want as much health as possible. The reason for this is actually quite specific. It's because the real reason I click Berserker is because of Pawn Shop. Because Pawn Shop Pygmalion is the #1 thing that makes me go, oh, I need to go fast, to actually chew through their 7 trillion health. It's never going in anymore. So that's the main reason why I wanted it here. And none of these upgrades matter, because we have crit solved on second cast with Flashy Pilot, and crit on the first cast doesn't matter as much because it's prior to the Dragonheart going off. Steelstorm is so good, but it's not what we're looking for here. This is the one most likely to potentially go back in. Like, if I find the high rarity holsters, I'd consider buying it. But yeah, this one's never going in because it ruins the heart. So we can keep the holsters for now. And yeah, Frostfire looks good. I'm so glad they nerfed like all of the free skills, because it feels like now that there are no multi-free skills and the ones that there are a second shorter, they're starting to feel quite balanced. Because they're still like some of the best things in the game that you can pick up in the late game, but it feels much more like to a reasonable degree. And then the nasty thing here is, as you can see, the Dragonheart goes off mid-cast, and so mid-cast it's already applying the double value. So, this might just be the most pyromaniac flagship that the world has ever spotted. Silencer still matters a lot more than 1x multicast. Nufu has skills. These are not skills that we care about. That's a skill we potentially care about. But are they things that I'm willing to sell wanted poster for? Not quite. So I was willing to go here because there are definitely some skills that are good enough that you just sell the wanted poster, because there's theoretically only 2 days left to go. But these weren't things that I need right here, right now. Oh, hey, Kuroto! Thanks for the raid. Welcome to the stream. There's a pyromaniac on the loose. Everything is on fire, and I have no idea who could be responsible. It's definitely not me. I am not the culprit. Ignore the fact that Arkan has 4,000 burn on him. It's not me. I promise. Just give me like knife tricks or something, BM. Slow when we use our rightmost item seems fine. What can we find that's better? So Temporal Strike would be interesting if we had slow already, because it can make our second activation faster. I just don't think 6 seconds... Oh wait, no, it's charge a slow item. Yes, they've changed it. We don't take that. I mean, this isn't amazing, because we already have so much crit, but we'll take Static Acceleration. It's true, I'm mono weapon lifesteal crit. This is definitely not a burn build. And just take this. XP isn't real, XP is a lie. This isn't aquatic, right? Yeah, no. Cool. Boop, boop, boop. Sure. Let's relax a bit. How was your stream, Kuroto? Yeah, you were playing more of that Ronin game, right? Doing some samurai business. So Sixten said middle one doesn't work, it's bugged. Which one? The temporal strike? Good to know. Okay, so temporal strike currently bugged. I'll take guaranteed damage. This is hopefully the final day, so... Then we're going to Andy here, silencer.
If you want cheap junk, go see Curio.
This is why I don't consider shops real in the late game. Like, you just never find upgrades. It's all just a lie. Okay. The exp can sometimes matter, but having juggler with dive weights is also really funny. I'm not gonna bait myself into going for it, but the temptation was there in my heart. Sixten says that this is the coolest, wait, no, hottest flagship build we've ever seen. I think that's quite accurate. This guy never beats me, it doesn't matter what he destroys, even if it's the flagship, it's just so much burn. Even on just the first strike, and with a bit of a slow start. I mean, I'm just trying to win here, so we just take the relax. And sure, let's treat ourselves to some gumballs to wrap out the run. Why not? Why not some gumballs?
If not today, tomorrow.
Orlin, do you have anything good for me? So... I guess Fiery is, like, quite good, just because it gets the one that gets doubled started higher.
And it bloomed into a Dira.
Now with the relax and a lot of health and queuing into a Vanessa, I'm feeling quite confident about our odds here. They appear to be trying to weatherglass me. That's a pretty scary board. Like, this pufferfish is going off a lot, but thankfully, you know, we have 500 burn on our first cast, which I don't think... okay, they technically lived long enough to get hit with the second cast, but something tells me it probably wouldn't have mattered too much. Dragonheart, 4 times, just a casual 1300 burn in 6 activations. Not a bad build. Oh.
We could use you in the fight.
And there we go. This is why I like the left-handed start. It just means that... So this game we played a Shadowed Cloak Fang early game, pivoted it into a submarine, and then transitioned it over to a flagship. And you're just so flexible in terms of what you're trying to enable when you have the left-handed already. And then once you have the flagship, one of the things that I do like with it, especially with dive weights being potentially ammo, and your tool, and your haste proc, it's pretty rare that matters. Like, realistically, expansionless Vanessa can play flagship just as well in most scenarios. But if you do find something like Dragonheart that you want to run in that final slot, the fact that I could have 5x multicast while having a medium that didn't have a relevant trigger, it's pretty nice. Yeah.